r/askreddit. What should people stop buying? Glitter. Right? Not only is it the herpes of the craft world, it's killer of sea creatures. I used biodegradable glitter at a wedding I was working and it was one of the worst messes I've ever had to clean up. It was sticky, it smelled weird, and stained everything. The bride got some down the front of her dress and her chest was a damn rainbow of melted taffy when we took it off, edit, to go to the bathroom and change into the more comfortable reception dress. But, I'll bet the sea turtles liked it. I'd like to see a more viable biodegradable glitter. Reddit silver. Reddit took something that people did for fun as a meme and charged people for it, and people are paying actual money now for the honor. Time for Reddit bronze. I figure most people don't actually pay for silver. They just get gilded and use the 100 coins on silver. The irony. MLM products. I recently met someone on an online friend site and he was oddly persistent in getting together. I asked if he was going to try to sell me something. Oh, not at all, he replied. When we finally got together it was going to be business-minded people just talking about business concepts and going out for drinks. Sounded like shit, but okay, I'll give him a shot. MLM right off the bat. I didn't have anything better to do and drove an hour, so I hung out. After the hour-long presentation, the gal in front of me, who uses the product and her brother is one of the 3 guys presenting, turns to ask me if I'm joining. I said no and she stumbled and asked, "Oh, but you're going to buy some?" and I said no again. She was flabbergasted and had no idea how to respond. I came here to say this but wanted to make sure others hadn't already posted. Had to scroll quite a bit down the thread to find the first mention of MLM. Anything sold by an MLM hung but can be purchased elsewhere. Edit. Okay, now it's a top comment. When I posted my comment, it was way down in the thread and had no comments under it. Ugh. My friend got sucked into a self-help MLM cult that preys on people's insecurities. It's gross. Another friend got sucked into a beauty product scheme. It's crazy to me that people can't see these things are scams. It's not like they are a secret in 2019. I know, right? But while I have your attention, have you ever thought about being your own boss? Cigarettes. But it's really hard to not do. Mistake. Wish I never started 25 years ago. I stopped doing the math. Edit. After all the comments received about vaping, I've gone out and purchased a vape and cartridges. Seems like they're refillable, or at least inexpensive. Vape salts might be better than my standard vape. The throat hit is definitely there, which is different than the standard vape. Loot boxes. EA would be cry all day long. Edit. You thanks for the gold but you should stop buying those. Plastic boxes. Reddit awards. Too much of one thing. It's one thing to recycle but it goes reduce, reuse then recycle. So we should really aim to reduce first. Edit. I fixed my shitty formatting. Don't forget refuse. K-cups. Exceptionally weak coffee, incredibly exaggerated packaging, hard on the landfills, equipment costs are double, if not triple, conventional coffee makers, and potentially harmful buildup of bacteria in the machines. K-cups are a novelty that really turned mainstream and should go back to being in a museum. Before everyone downvotes me to hell, I am not sending the police in for your K-cups, I just think a lot of people should rethink these little gems. Even the inventor regrets it. I went back to a drip coffee maker after damn near going bankrupt burning 4 or 5 K-cups a day. I'm an arsehole but even I felt bad about pitching all those plastic cups in the trash. Still use it for the occasional one-off cup, but I'm happy with my drip coffee ritual. The pods are unrecyclable because of the type of plastic they use. If you have a Keurig machine, get a reusable pod or 2 for like $15-20 a piece. Buy your coffee whole bean and then get it ground when you're about to start using it. If you don't have a coffee grinder of your own, you can bring the beans to a Starbucks or something to get them ground for free. Doesn't even have to be their brand. Puppy mill dogs. Edit. Thanks everybody for upvotes and precious metals. My only achievement is that I noticed the question relatively soon, as there are many of you who would have answered the same. I'm not sure if I'm happy for this much upvotes as it mostly shows how deep, widespread and ugly is the problem. And most exotics sold in pet stores. At least, many pet stores in my country, US, are mills, and some even sell wild caught animals without telling you. Fast fashion. It is made so poorly that it really won't have a long lifetime. It looks okay for the first few wears, but with time it stretches or fades and starts to look bad. It ends up going into the trash or sent to Africa, where it is making it impossible for local clothing manufacturers to remain open. Plus, most of the time these clothes are created in very unethical labor conditions, exploiting poor countries' communities. This is a big one. I've abandoned most of these stores entirely, and always aim to buy less, higher quality clothes. The main problem here is that once people get used to Primark level bargains, it's hard to convince them to spend more because they don't perceive that higher value as justified. Most people consume for consumption's sake, not aiming to get the best product or supporting good brands practices. I read this a lot. As a teenager, I used to buy fast fashion. I'm 31 and still own that stuff. Sold some because I grew out of the style. But only about 1-2 items per year go to the trash. A bit more for underpants and bras, with a little care, gentle washing, air drying, sometimes fixing a seam or a button. These cheap things last longer than I ever thought they would. Now, when I replace things, I buy fair trade because I don't want to be involved in exploiting people. This is really hard in practice, speaking as an environmental conscious teenager. Because sustainable clothing is really expensive. Where I live there aren't really any thrift stores. I live in the UK where we have charity shops, but a lot of them don't have clothing that appeals to me. It really sucks, but I rarely shop for clothes. Edit. Thank you for all the recommendations for apps. I've heard of a lot but never really checked it out because honestly I hadn't the time. I've just downloaded Depop and hopefully all goes well. What do you mean by fast fashion? Is it a brand or anything made by Nestle? Which is hard since they make so much. It's crazy the number of products they are responsible for. But they are almost the definition of the big evil corporation. Edit. Obligatory thanks for the gold and silver, and obligatory rip my inbox. And double thanks to the guys that have posted links to Nestle's evil acts and posted the images of all the brands Nestle own. Also fug Nestle. Also stop buying bottled water. 1. It's wasteful and creates too much plastic waste. 2. Newsflash dingus. That's bottled tap water. What, you thought Deer Park came from an actual deer park or something? 3. You can get the same results using a water filter. They're also reusable. Edit. Apparently people have really bad tap water. Why do I have to stop buying Nestle? Why are they evil? Balloons. At first I wanted to object, but yeah, balloons are total shit. Not only balloons but helium as well. It's such a valuable gas. We use it for so much more than having a squeaky voice, like cooling MRI magnets. There is a limited supply of helium in the universe as it cannot be manufactured. All the useless crap that goes broken in a year. Pretty much everything that's not durable. It's called planned obsolescence. The shittiest business practice of all. My brother's entire life revolves around buying junk and throwing it out. I think he prefers to buy cheap crap because it means he gets to buy more cheap crap again later. Microtransactions. But the poor AAA multi-billion companies. Did you ever think of them? Reddit ads. Reddit Gold, or how they call it now, Premium. Greenland. Hasbro just bought Peppa Pig for $4 billion. Greenland is estimated to be worth $1 billion. Hasbro could have bought for Greenland. It was not really being used when we took it under our possession. Diamonds. They're pretty, but that's all they are. They're not even rare. Lab-grown diamonds are indistinguishable from retail diamonds. Because they're still literally diamonds. And they're way cheaper. Compared to other ores, they are pretty rare, and quite hard to get considering you need an iron pick and have to go to Y12 to find some. But jokes aside, it's not mainly about the rarity, but the cutting and finishing. It takes a lot of work and costs a lot. They have more personal worth, or flex worth, than anything else, but that's true for any type of jewelry, expensive clothing, etc. Plastic in general, but especially one-use plastic. In consumer products, yes. In medical products, no. I get the rational and medical waste is a problem, but we should be serious about the revolution in care and safety that have emerged because of plastics in medicine. We haven't come up with a good alternative in this area yet. So everyone gets upset about the straws they use in restaurants, but let me tell you about the plastic used in manufacturing. I make medical prototype parts and we have to send them out for outside treatment. Anodize, put a color and protective coating on aluminum, passivate, cleans and stabilizes the surface of stainless steel, or powder coat, general painting process for metal. It's how they paint cars, kind of. Just last week, we shipped out about 500 parts. We shipped them in bulk size egg trays, and taped them all together with paper-based packing tape. They come back to us, with every single part in its own little plastic bag, wrapped in plastic, put in bundles, in another bag, wrapped in plastic. It was ridiculous. Seriously, so much plastic. All the bits of hardware to assemble this prototype, we needed about 100 small ball bearings, 3-stroke 8 inches diameter. Guess what? All of them came in their own bag, and then every 5 in another larger bag, then all of those bags in another bag. So it was like 130 plastic bags. I spent about 3 hours unwrapping, cutting, and opening plastic bags. I think that the shipping and delivery industry needs to do away with plastic in general. There's too much of it being used when something like a hemp-based paper would work so much better. Little kids. It's becoming a serious problem. The internet and the relative ease of global travel has made it so virtually anyone can pay for a kid. What used to be an exclusive pastime has been overrun with filthy casuals. Human trafficking is fucking horrible. New phones when the old one is just fine. A lot of precious materials go into the production of them, and well, have they really improved that much the last few years? Edit. Wow, I'm glad to see so many people agree. Good on us. I know people who get a new phone every 6 months, while mine had lasted 3 years now and is perfectly fine. They spend so much money on phone contracts, it's insane. Upwards of £50 a month. I spend £5 a month. That's unlimited texts and calls, and 3 GB of data which rolls over month to month. I've got about 50 saved up. Just can't use it up. I wish I had been able to keep my old phone. It worked totally fine, had everything I needed. But it was a Samsung running on Windows, and when my bank switched to sending the TAN out via app that only worked with Android, I needed the new phone. I'm still salty about that. Single fruit that come in a plastic wrapper. I mean, who buy a single banana or apple wrapped in plastic? You can just buy the whole damn thing. This is really hurting the earth. Gamer girl bath water. Edit for clarification. Belle Delphine, an Instagram model with millions of followers, was selling her bathwater, labeled as Gamer Girl Bath Water, to her followers for $30 per vial earlier this year. It was completely sold out in a matter of days. Maybe just one more vial. Nestle products. You can get an app now on your phone, lets you see who owns the product before buying. Nestle have been taking water from the countries that need them, bottling it and selling it back at a price. What's the app? Political propaganda. Anything containing microfibers, plastics. Clothes are a big one for me. I really try hard not to buy anything with polyester now. I think renewable and sustainable productions methods in clothes are going to be the next big thing. I hope so. Seeing how much waste fast fashion generates is so depressing. And so avoidable. Kids don't buy drugs. Become a pop star and they give you them for free. And don't buy love, actually. Just watch it on TNT during one of the 167,000 times they play it during the holiday season. Reddit Gold. Seriously, stop rewarding the for-profit company Reddit for a comment or post created by a user. Yes, the user gets Reddit Premium, but Reddit Premium is worth and useless. Want to reward someone for their content? Tip them with Nano or something. Reddit can make its money just fine with ads. If they can't, they're incompetent. Edit. Fuck off, kind stranger, S. You heard it here first. So if you were going to be ironic and buy this guy gold, go ahead and hit me up with it instead. The same FIFA game every year. Beef from Brazil. How about beef in general? Beef is not only responsible for deforestation, but it's pretty ineffective and hurts the environment a lot. At least stop eating meat multiple times a day. Meat should be treated as something luxurious and should not be consumed more than twice a week. Not only for the environment, but also your own health. Cruises. They are devastating for the planet, release massive amounts of CO2, make the waters in port cities filthy, and often it's the adjacent beaches that cruise goers are there to see. More controversially, they actually obliterate local businesses and economies to cater to massive influxes of tourists on shore excursions, while locals lose their services and culture. Where I live, Barcelona, the historic core has lost its historic bakeries, artisans, bookshops, etc. for 1,000 souvenir dumps selling selfie sticks and lame beer joke shirts. That's sad. As a tourist I hate souvenir shops. I'd much rather look at local shops that sell things I can't get at home or Amazon. DLCs with content that should have been in the base game. Also, DLCs with less content than classic add-ons used to deliver, but for the same or higher price. Stuff they don't really need. Some people just have shopping as a vice. My stepmother is the epitome of this and a capitalist's dream. Last time I was at my dad's place they had converted my sister's old room into her wardrobe, which was just stacked with dresses and shoes that she had only worn once. I still wear my old Nikes from 2011, so I'm glad I don't have that vice. Bottled water. People. How else am I supposed to make friends? Anything that's an ad on YouTube videos. Anything that's an ad within mobile games. Food products that say diet or low fat. People think that means it's healthy when, more often than not, it's full of crap that's not good for their health at all. Anything with palm oil in it. As much as possible. Consume less and be happy. Alexa. Brazilian beef. iPhones.